Think about taking like the hardest test possible. Like it tests your mind, tests your spirit, tests your ability to handle things on the fly. That is the entirety of your degree program. It doesn't matter what degree you're in. I've heard same things from art, game art, digital media, to film. It will test you in ways you didn't even think you could be tested. Everybody gets tested at some point. It is what it is. It's just a constant test.
Hi.
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 My name is
Joya Poole.
Jason Gillette.
Lisa Fremda.
Lily Perry.
Philip Lissinig.
And this.
And this.
And this is
My Full Sail.
My Full Sail.
My Full Sail Experience.
I ended up at Full Sail because my parents were both instructors.
I think I found Full Sail online, and then I just decided, like, with the area of expertise that I wanted, it was either going to be film or music, and I knew they offered both, so I knew I could change at any time.
in Florida, here in Orlando. I worked for the Walt Disney Company. I was so excited. I loved the place so much. And when my visa expired and I moved back to Australia, I knew I had to come back to Orlando. I found Full Sail online and I just had to get involved.
I've worked at Full Sail now for 5-6 years. I started in financial aid, and then I moved into an advisor position, and I was working as an advisor while I was also completing the MCBS program. It was also kind of like this dream come true.
I used to work as a bartender here in Winter Park. As a result of the Langford shutting down, I lost my bartender job. I saw in the classifieds, when we used to get newspapers, a little advertisement for a lab instructor here at Full Sail University. So I applied for the job, and when I came to get interviewed, I was interviewed by one of my patrons at the bar, and I started here as a course director in 2 weeks after that interview.
I got into teaching at Full Sail kind of by accident. They were hiring at Full Sail for a lab instructor in the film department. I figured I would try it out for a little bit. You know, I needed a paycheck. It was terrifying, but I ended up really loving it. And here I am 20 years later, still teaching at Full Sail, and I really enjoy it, and that's why I'm here.
I love that because I'm always saying, every instructor has a philosophy, whether they know what it is or not. My philosophy is remembering what it was like to be a student, to be an art student specifically, or a design student. And I don't teach students for who they are now, I teach them for who they're going to be. And that's what I look at when I see a student.
I'm trying to understand where you're coming from. I'm trying to understand your experience and what's important to you. So always coming in, being curious without judgment. I want to inspire and encourage students to feel confident in themselves.
There's no correct way to teach, and there's no correct way to be a teacher, because learning isn't a single thing that happens. It's a million things that happen because of a million other things. As a teacher, I try to keep that in the front of my mind at all times, and it helps. It helps.
I can compare it to the other mindset I have in the other previous school. In my previous college, it was 4 to 6 month periods, 3 sometimes. You just had a lot more time to put off, and I feel like that was a mindset of a lot of my friends, especially my roommates. But here it's more like you only have a week to get this whole maybe a month's worth of work done in a more normalized college.
The mindset for Full Sail is try your hardest, never like put in half effort on anything you do. Anything you're doing, especially in the industry, or like especially like when we're working on our projects, it's always other people connected to the things that you do. So if you do subpar work, that's gonna reflect on them and not just you. So I guess the Full Sail mindset is work hard. I mean, that sounds very like on the nose, but it's kind of true.
So going into Full Sail, my goals were definitely to learn as much as I possibly could about media and just all things media communications.
Coming to Full Sail, I expected to just try out every single thing I could.
My goals at Full Sail were originally to like be better than I was in high school. I didn't necessarily try in high school, and I was like passionate about the things that I like to do, but high school wasn't really one of them. It's not that I didn't do good, I didn't do bad, I didn't do good for me, and that disappointed me a lot.
I was a little intimidated, I think, when I came here, and then I realized that like everybody doesn't know what they're doing at first. When you realize like, okay, we're all on the same like playing field, everyone's starting from square one.
I went to Full Sail in 1996, and it really appealed to me because in 12, 13 months, I knew I could hit the road and start working, and that's exactly what I did.
Yeah, so I knew in high school that I wanted to work at a college. I just knew it. It is just this great, healthy growth energy that happens at the school. So I knew I would find myself here in some way, shape, or form.
It's literally, I work at Full Sail and my class is gaming and transmedia storytelling. It's probably not what I should.
No, that's great. That was actually, I'm going to use it.
Okay, cool.
Why'd you ask me that? That's such a mean question. No, I'm playing. As far as game development goes, Portfolio 4, or probably Portfolio 4, the Vulcan class, the graphics class I was talking about, we had to make a level render, and look, it's not the best, but I put my blood, sweat, and a lot of tears into that thing, and it doesn't look the best, but I'm proud of it just because like I did it, you know. And there was a point in time in that class where like I don't think I'm ever gonna be able to get to that point, and now it's like I did that.
So I've been able to work in a work study for MCES, doing their social media content. It's gone really, really well. Starting out, I didn't feel like I was very good at it, but I'm getting better and better with everything I make and continuing to get that experience regardless of necessarily wanting to produce that much. I feel like I've improved so much.
A project that I'm really proud of is my YouTube video. It's called Lisa's Online Storytime. I just had so much fun making it. I went all out, like I used every skill that I had learned so far in the degree program, and I thought, give it my all, and it all came together as well as I think it could have. So I'm very proud of the final product.
I would have to say Hall of Fame is probably one of the coolest jobs because I walked around campus all day and got to meet students and talk to alumni, and a large number of our alumni are also celebrities that I'm obsessed with, and they've worked on projects that I'm obsessed with. It felt like being an MTV VJ. That's just the coolest job. Like, it felt like being at MTV Beach House on spring break. Like, you're just walking around and it's like, hey, what are you making over here? What's happening over here? Like, it was just a big party.
In 2011, I got an opportunity to teach abroad in Botswana, in Africa. We got to teach in very, very remote boarding schools in the country. And when I say remote, it's probably some of the most remote places I've ever been in the world, and I've been to a bunch. But it was really a great experience because I learned that they needed somebody to just listen to them, you know? And I taught photography workshops with these students, but at the end of the day, when all of that stuff was done, my favorite part was just to sit with them, listen to what they wanted to do when they grew up, what their dreams were, what their aspirations were. Some of them would quite literally hang on, just grab my arm. I just realized that they were literally just wanting to hang on to someone who cared and who listened, and it was one of the most rewarding things that I've ever done in my career.
How do I find balance? Well, one, having those structures around working. The mantra for me when I need to get work done is the sooner we get the hard shit done, the sooner we can do the fun stuff, and the more time we have to do the fun stuff. I have ADHD too, so like sometimes I need something to keep me motivated, and so that's where, how can I do this but make it fun?
I keep getting these jobs like that are not music related to try and get by and just like make money, but then it's like I can't go on the interviews for jobs that are in the music field because I'm busy working sometimes, making the money that I need to get by.
That's where habits come in. I have to really plan something. It's not always going to just happen, you know. I had read when I was raising children, you make appointments with your husband. Well, I do that now to meet with my children, you know, my adult children who I don't see all the time. So I use my calendar for my personal life, and I use block scheduling for my work.
I think work-life balance would be a real struggle if I had a job that wasn't completely what I already love. I get to play Dungeons and Dragons and call it work. I get to go to campus and talk to groups of students about their favorite films and how they make them feel, and that's my job. I don't need to balance my work life. It's exactly where I need it to be.
When I started as a teacher, it's like taking everything to heart was a big issue that I had to overcome. For example, one time I got a critique, and on the critiques it said, Joanna is only qualified to teach inmates, probably at a high security prison. And I sat with that for a long time, like, what am I putting out there? You know, but I had to understand that every student is in their own journey, in their own space. I can't let that dictate how I think of myself and my qualities and what I'm capable of. So, harsh lesson, but a good one for understanding balance and separation.
I think right now I'm just kind of struggling with the fact that I might not be able to be at the standard of like industry standard like right away. It's a lot of different things that you have to perfect, and everybody's way of doing it in the music field is like very different. So I just want to make sure that I'm like good enough for the things that I'm applying for, and I'm not sure that I am.
So I've struggled with procrastination, time management has been a huge challenge. It can be incredibly difficult.
I guess there's a mixture of like having ADHD in my mindset, because like a lot of times I'll let stuff like that hold me back. I'll just get lazy. And it really sucks a lot sometimes. I just feel like I'm not doing anything. I don't know, it just felt like impossible sometimes. But that's not an excuse. Like I probably could have did better, but that's just me beating myself up.
When I first left my family at the airport, it was incredibly gut-wrenching. It was so hard. I was hugging my parents, my sisters, my boyfriend, and I was bawling my eyes out. It was a really hard time. That first little bit, just me getting on the plane, was absolutely heartbreaking.
Something I've had to learn over time and that I will struggle with every day. When I first come to a lecture, the first day, I'm nervous about it. I don't care if I've given that lecture 1,000,000 times. I still want to make sure that it goes right, and I want to make sure that I'm connecting with the students. And I think that students have that same apprehension sometimes. You know, we have this imagination of how people are, you know, and they're really more like us than we give them credit for.
I find myself in the position of working with students that procrastinate. They put off their work until the last minute. And I gotta tell you that I understand that struggle, and I respect that struggle. I talk big about how I can talk about myself real easy, but that's a hard question to answer.
Yeah, it was like a gut check, you know? That's why, like, especially when it comes to Full Sail and like retaking classes and stuff like that, I don't really care about the amount of times I failed something. I care about the amount of times I gave up and I was like, you know what, I'm done. I think that's more important. So instead of focusing on your failures, focus on the times where you gave up when you shouldn't have.
To overcome those issues, I have started keeping a schedule. I use a calendar now. I make lists constantly. I have sticky notes everywhere. It works great.
I feel like I'm in like kind of a limbo right now. I don't know that I've overcome them, but I think that I've definitely found a better way of understanding that like it's an upward battle and I'm kind of trying to find my way through it, and it gets better every day.
It's gonna be okay. Seriously. I mean, sometimes the pressure that's self-imposed, I don't think they know that it's gonna be okay.
This is a safe space. This is a safe environment to fail. You have to trust that you got this. My personal motto, I can show you better than I can tell you. So you focus on doing that.
Keeping an open mind, working your tail off, and understanding that things like deadlines and keeping your word and putting forth effort and all of that stuff matters. It matters more than anything.
Get it done, even if you don't want to, especially when you don't want to. It doesn't matter how it gets done, as long as it gets done and it works.
Make it easier for yourself. Find people who are in your classes or in the same degree program as you, especially if you find someone ahead of you that could help you with the work that you don't understand.
You do have a certain flexibility to start to form your own path. You know, we're going to give you tools, lots of tools. Tuning into what it is you're interested in is a good thing. And you do learn about yourself. That's what school's about.
I am definitely capable of creating content that is worthy. In the past, I've known myself to create something and then look at it and delete it. And I think thanks to the lecturers and my mentors and everyone I've met here at Full Sail, I've learned that I can create, and I can create work that is worthy of being seen by audiences.
I'm kind of smart. That sounds a bit cocksure, but like you ever say something and like some information that you just spit it out and you're like, how did I know this information in my head? Like I used to doubt myself a lot. I still do, because I mean that's human being things, right? But yeah, I'm actually a lot smarter than I thought, I guess.
So when I started at Full Sail my very first day, I was terrified. And my mother said to me, Joanna, don't you realize that nervousness translates to excitement? And sure as Mama said, a student came up to me afterwards and said, it is just so wonderful how excited you are about all this content. So now whenever I get nervous about something, I'll be like, it's okay, because people are just going to see it as excitement and enthusiasm. So thanks, Mama, for that advice.
My 10-year-old self would be utterly shocked that I could grow a beard and a mustache. Honestly, as a 10-year-old even, I might start crying a little bit.
Oh my God, 10-year-old Joya would be like, dude, we're so badass. Dude, we're so badass.
My 10-year-old self right now would probably be like, we're a boy? That's sick. That's fucking, sorry, I was gonna curse. That's sick, bro.
I think I actually did become the person my 10-year-old self wanted me to be. You know, the vision never wavered.
Ooh, if 10-year-old me saw me now, he would be so happy. Because I remember back in the day, I used to want to be a scientist. Like, that was just like my biggest dream for so long. And now, in 3 small months, you will be a scientist.
You know, I think about my 10-year-old self a lot. I have often checked in with her, and it's like, was this the path that you wanted? Has it challenged you enough? And some days the answer is no, you know? And that's when I have to ask myself, well, what can I do differently?
If I think about myself being 10 years old, my mind instantly goes to my son. I admire his ability to just like be completely unrestricted with his imagination and everything. And I try to get on that level, and I think he appreciates that. So we have a special connection when it comes to that.
10-year-old Lisa did not know /think/believe she was going to get very far in life. including finding the opportunities to travel and study, and definitely never thought a degree was going to be on the books. So I really think that my 10-year-old self would be over the moon.
What is my own overall experience at Full Sail? Life-changing.
It's important to know that you can do what you have been wanting to do your whole life, and Full Sail has kind of given me that.
I'm excited, but I know that I'm in the place that I need to be. I'm happy. I'm just going to keep smiling.
Earlier today, I attended a meeting, a celebration meeting with my good friend Emily. She and I and about 300 other people met at Full Sail Live, and it was to get our 10-year anniversary pin because we've been teaching here for that long. It's very fulfilling.
It's a beautiful journey, highs and lows. At the end of the day, I think the students have taught me so much more than I've taught them. Beautiful. It's true. Sorry. Woo! I'm a crier, so.
This has been the best party that I kind of feel like I snuck into. Like, I didn't plan to be here, but I'm here and I can't not be here. Like, I don't know what else I'm supposed to be doing. It's an honor, it's a privilege, and it is a responsibility that I take so seriously. So I'll say one final word, and it's grateful. Like, absolutely grateful.
My name
is
Libby Perry.
Joya Poole.
Lisa Fremda.
Anthony Zimmerman.
This is Ezekiel Tyus.
And this.
And this.
And this was my
Full Sail.
My absolutely magical Full Sail experience.
All right, hit it.
Friday night is a time I wanna chill with you. Whenever you want, I will come by. If you need someone, I'm here with you.
Check.
I hope that made sense. I think I just absolutely yapped on about nothing, but that's fine.
There was 2. No, there was 3. There was 3 classes and there was 4. There was...
Sorry. I'm kidding.
And it was scary as hell. Can I curse? Okay.
If you've ever lived in an HOA, the weirdness. People stopping me as I walk by saying, they're going to take our cats. They don't like our cats roaming the neighborhood. And so they're picking up our cats and, like,
They're taking our cats.
and my cat really likes his freedom. And da-da-da-da-da.
During this process, I learned.
What I learned at boarding school.
Yeah.
not enough. You laugh. It's true though. Clearly not enough.
Keep it cute.
I feel like this is really going badly.
To which I said, oh yes, thank you.
It's like having a kid, that moment when you're like in the hospital and the nurse is like, look at your little newborn, isn't it so cute? No, they're like, all right, bye.
God.
Bye.